Firefighters are battling a blaze in Pearly Beach in the Western Cape. On Tuesday, fierce gale-force winds drove the flames towards the coastal town. The council warning that if the flames continue at their current rate, residents should prepare to possibly be evacuated. Newzroom Afrika's Nasiphi Summer, tracking the story, joins us now with more on this. Nasiphi, good afternoon to you. It is fire season in parts of the Western Cape. How serious is the situation?
Well, Stephen, what I'll tell you is that the Western Cape is at the thick of fire season. Pearly Beach, the city of Cape Town, also seeing quite a number of fires, vegetation fires, including shack fires. Also, if you look at what's currently happening now in Mossel Bay, it's just a glimpse of what the fire season actually brings for this particular province. But we will show you some of the visuals there that we understand that firefighting efforts continue in Pearly Beach. At this current moment, there was communication regarding possible evictions, or rather evacuations yesterday. But at this moment, firefighters are on high alert and currently dealing with the flare-ups, as we are showing you there, the thick smoke that is hanging over this particular community, Pearly Beach, speaking to residents as well, saying that, seeing a coordinated team working to contain the fire last night is something that brings a lot of comfort to them. Hence, many of them are saying that they are quite relaxed. But to give us a little bit more details, I am joined by the municipal manager, who's going to be talking to us about this particular fire. Yesterday we saw the visuals of, the blaze that was raising through this particular town, vegetation to be specific. But if you could give us an update where we're currently standing now.
All right, thank you very much. Yes, currently we're in day 4 of the fire. The fire started on Sunday, and approximately 1,600 hectares have burned so far already. We have 200 firefighters and their support teams working on the fire at present. They are, as you can see, this part is on the Pearly Beach side, but they are more on the mountain side because that's a bit difficult to work in. It's high up in the mountain. There's a lot of ADN vegetation, and those guys are working on that line. And at present, the fire is not under control yet. We are trying to close off the fire around the town of Pearly Beach, and by doing that, we will isolate the town then, and then it'll be safe then. Then the fire won't come back into the town again on this side. And then on the mountain side, we have the ground teams in. We do have the possibility that we'll most probably get aerial support also later with the helicopters that can come in and assist with the firefighting. Obviously, with the helicopters, you need to have a team on the ground as well. And that's what makes the mountain fire difficult, because we can get the helicopters in, but the teams can't get up to the area where the fire is.
You speak of terrain that firefighters which is a challenge for firefighters. But I'm also quite interested, because yesterday we had the strong gale-force winds. How does that play into, how does that contribute to what we're currently seeing now, also taking into account of the fact that the Western Cape is in its fire season?
Yeah. Well, normally the wind, and yesterday we had gale-force winds in this area, and that's what made the firefighting more difficult yesterday, because the wind changes all the time. And it's also more dangerous for the firefighters, because you might be thinking the wind is coming from this side, so I'm fighting against the wind, and then it changes quickly, and you might be caught inside the fire. So you always need to be very aware of that. So gale-force winds and windy conditions that changes all the time is always dangerous fighting fires, but it also contributes towards the intensity of the fire and how it burns.
Do we know of any injuries, but also damage to private property and municipal property?
Sure, no injuries at this stage, and we hope it's going to stay that way. Our firefighters are quite experienced. We also have the volunteers here, and then also teams from other areas. So no injuries on our firefighters, and even injuries from private citizens as well. We did have 2 structural fires last night, 2 structures that were burnt down. The structures had thatched roofs, so the fire spotted and onto the thatched roof. And then I think there was 1 or 2 electrical poles that was burnt down, but we fixed that this morning, so there's no power outages in Pearly Beach. And then it also just burned around our wastewater treatment works in Pearly Beach as well, but no real damages there.
Do we know the possible cause of the fire, or is it still too early to tell?
I think it's still too early to tell. What we can say at this moment is that an investigation will be done, and we'll act on the report once we get it.
That is the municipal manager. I'll also bring in the mayor, the executive mayor of Overstrand Municipality, Mr. Archie Klaas. So thank you so much for your time. But we are, speaking to the municipal manager, he highlights a concern of alien vegetation. Is that a headache for the municipality? And how has that possibly contributed to the fire that we are seeing in Pearly Beach?
The Premier, Alan Windy, and the Minister of Local Government, Minister Anton Pridel, just left. And part of the key discussion point was the issue of the alien vegetation in how we manage it. In as much as we are saying now a lot of it have died, I think it was the municipal manager or the fire chief, one of them spoke about the importance of managing that aspect. The second issue that was key in the discussion is an issue of directives that are issued that fire breaks must be created. A fire break is a space that will be created. That space is important, not just for cutting fire as many people believe it, but the reality of the matter is that our fire truck needs to drive somewhere in order to get to a point where they can do what they need to do. And it was important that we must look at how do we really enforce this. But I think for me and my MMC for public safety in all the reports that gives me, my biggest takeaway is the amazing work that the fire chief and the team of plus minus 200 people do, the partnership. I'm sure throughout the time you are here, you've seen ordinary people donating anything, food, water, everything that the men and women who are on those mountains can use. And just the partnership, the fact that the Premier was here in support, the fact that the ward councillor of this ward is currently, as we talk here, assisting. The fact that we are standing here, the owner of this business have put a sign that they have closed it for the fire in order to allow us to have a joint operations center here and coordinate things from a central point where we can control them. So it is, as dire as the situation is, as important as what is being done, one is truly humbled by the partnership and the working together between the different departments and different organizations which are private that are here and volunteers that are spending their time with us here.
I mean, you've had quite the fires recently as a municipality. This is probably the 3rd or the 4th one since October.
It's the 4th fire. It started in October, which is off the normal season because provincially the season starts in December. Proactively through the fire chief, the advice was that we must start in November, but unfortunately, surprise, surprise, the fire really came in earlier. And ever since then, our men and women has been on the mountains working exceptionally hard to a point that even on Christmas, we had to put some parcels together and just go around to them and say, thank you, thank you. The Premier spoke about the fatigue, that he's worried about the fatigue, because this is in actual fact the 4th fire. I haven't spoken to the fire chief, but from the layman's perspective, out of the fires, I still argue that this is not the biggest fire. I mean, I think the 2nd fire was the biggest fire that I've seen throughout some of my time in the area. And remember, I'm born in the area. I'm as local as it gets. So really, it has been a very long journey, and the teams have been running. The owners of different farms who've got resources has also been coming on. The district municipality, the mayor of the district was also here in support. The district fire chief was here to support his colleagues. And all the support that we are getting is really amazing.
We'll have to leave it there. That is the mayor of the Overstrand municipality. We'll continue showing you those visuals of the fire, the smoke that is hanging over Pearly Beach there, as we do know that firefighting efforts continue. A number of concerns raised. The issue of the fire breaks, people building on those fire breaks, which assist in this situation, but also the issue of alien vegetation and the lessons that have been learned that will be implemented post this particular fire when it has been contained. We do know that an investigation will be launched as to the cause of this fire, and that will be also after when the fire has been contained.
Thank you very much indeed, Nasiphi Sama there reporting on that from